So the best way to get a handle on this is to use a simple case example. So for driver-based planning, think of it as the following sort of key formula elements. We need to understand what it is we're trying to plan. And that planned element is going to equal some sort of base data times a period offset and then multiplied by a driver, some sort of a factor. So in an example of, say, just a simple sales process, maybe sales revenue is going to equal the number of calls that we make for the last period, and we have a particular closing rate and revenue per sale. So the example here might be, let's say we did 100 calls and our closing rate is 45% and the average sale is $5,450. So the mathematics says our sales revenue is going to be about $245,000. So that's a building block to it. If we look at it in a sort of a graphical format, sort of a table, how we can build that up, we should be able to take that period offset, multiply it by the previous period's core data times that closing revenue rate, and that will give us the exit rate. And if we add this up not only for that one driver but across a number of them, in this case we're representing about a $10 million revenue stream through 7 core drivers that outline the key revenue related activities in this overall sales process. We can also take those numbers and sort of reconcile them against the previous budget, so you can begin to get an accuracy index to make sure that the driver-based plan has a reasonable footprint compared to the historic planning activities. So although the numbers make a bunch of sense, what we've learned is we need to visually represent this driver-based planning information. So again, taking those tables, we should be able to take a look at the base data and then the extension of that. So now we're taking a look at the base data times the driver, and then that's going to give us the overall driver-based revenue model as we go forward. And then again, we just need to add that up across all 7 drivers to give us that financial model and the variation around it going forwards. So it's a pretty straightforward approach that allows us, even in a simple Excel format, to begin modeling this overall driver-based planning. But it provides us with another tool as well, and that is a scenario planning or modeling capability. If we take that same data, again, the base data, then there's an element in here of the drivers that we've been talking about. We should be able to use that to figure out the calculated impact, and from that, the overall group impact by, in this case, product groups, and then the overall revenue and free cash flow. So what that looks like in terms of a overall modeling tool, we should be able to, for example, take one of these driver hypotheses and slide it, and as we begin moving this around, we can begin to see how our overall financial performance may be changing based on these drivers changing over time. And the benefit of this is it allows leadership team to begin to have a conversation about strategy and execution and where it is we're gaining success and failures based on what's happening within our current planning model. This allows us to run multiple scenarios concurrently, and through the driver base capability, helping leadership team get alignment around what the next steps are in terms of the organization moving forward towards its financial objectives. To learn more about this and other driver-based planning concepts, please join us at balancescorecard.net.